everyone, it's Sharona from Pay or Wait, and today I'm going to be reviewing Just Mercy, which premiered last night at the Toronto International Film Festival. This film is directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who's responsible for directing films such as the 2017's The Glass Castle. This film stars Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and Brie Larson, and this is actually based off of a book that was written by Bryan Stevenson titled Just Mercy, whom Michael B. Jordan portrays in the film. And so this really centers around the work that he has done with the Equal Justice Initiative, which he founded in 1989. And so in this film, this actually focused on one of his earliest cases where he defended Walter McMillian, who is played by Jamie Foxx, where he was convicted of murder for an 18-year-old white woman where there was little to no evidence that actually connected him to this crime. And also, too, this was based off of a faulty testimony from a convicted criminal. And so for those of you who are new to my channel here at Pay or Wait, I tell you what I liked about the film, what I didn't like about the film, and should you pay or wait to see this film in theaters? So going into the pros about Just Mercy, can we just talk about the performances for a moment? Because Jamie Foxx actually delivers one of the best performances that we've seen from him in years as Walter McMillian. I definitely think that he will get some award buzz off of his portrayal in this film, but I would have to talk about my absolute favorite, which was Rob Morgan. Rob Morgan, like, he has been in this business for quite some time, and he's done so many great roles. Most recently, if you've known him from This Is Us, he was actually the councilman that was running against Sterling K. Brown's character. And so in this film, he plays another inmate who is on death row by the name of Herbert Richardson, who is a war vet who is suffering from PTSD. And I don't want to give away the backstory of his character because this is a spoiler-free review, but I will have to say, like, every time that he's on screen, he is just so great to watch. It was so emotional to watch his character and everything that his character had to endure. And I just thought that his performance is definitely going to be one of those that people talk about in award season, which makes me very interested to see how Jamie Foxx and Rob Morgan are going to be marketed during the awards conversation, because they're technically both in supporting roles. But I think that both of them are so deserving of all the recognition. I just thought that they did a very fantastic job in this film. And that's not to say that Michael B. Jordan doesn't hold his own as Bryan Stevenson. I thought that he did a great job as well. Along with Brie Larson's character, she plays one by the name of Ava Ansley, and I thought that it was very well done how they handled her character, because I know that there are or have been issues in other films that really focus around this subject line where it was handled poorly. But I would have to say I really loved her character. I loved kind of the spunk and the sass that she had, and I thought that how they balanced her out amongst the rest of the cast, I thought it was beautifully done. Now, can I talk about O'Shea Jackson Jr.? Every time I see him on screen, he just puts a smile on my face. I love seeing him in all of these different roles. I can't wait to see more from him, but he plays Anthony Ray Hinton, and I thought that he did a fantastic job. He's not in the film as much as in everyone else, but he's definitely memorable when he is on screen. And also, to Tim Blake Nelson, who plays Ralph Myers, I thought that he did a great job as well. Overall, the acting in this film is definitely top-notch. It's what keeps you engaged in this film. But really, it's a story of Walter McMillian and the work that Bryan Stevenson has done and is continuing to do in today's society. And I think that was one of the most positive things that I walked out of while leaving Just Mercy, was the fact that these are the films that need to be made. These are the stories that need to be told. And I think that Just Mercy does a very great job of giving the audience an emotional connection into issues that we're still dealing with in today's society. Where this film takes place is only in the 90s. It's not that far in our past. This is things that have been happening in our lifetime. And one of the things that I really want to give praise to for Just Mercy is that while handling this subject matter, they don't do it for entertainment. They do it to provide, to give, more insight into what is happening in the criminal justice system, why people are calling for reform. And it really does a great job of really making the audience knowledgeable and making the audience maybe emotional, but also too angry at sometimes while watching this film, to know that these are the things that are still happening, that people's lives are still being ruined. And I really want to give hats off to everyone involved with this project, because it's a powerful film. It's so thought-provoking, and it's a timely, because we're still talking about these things. And even to the point at the end of the story, when they kind of let you know like what's been happening with this initiative, it brought me to tears. I almost made it through the whole movie without crying, and then the last couple of minutes I was just like, I can't take it. I had to like just do a quick little dab. I was like, they can't see me crying in this movie right now. But that's what works with this film. Everyone was moved. There were tears, sniffling, everything throughout the entire film. Like yelling, like in shock of seeing everything that these characters, you know, what they actually had to go through as they're trying to bring about change, as they're trying to prove their innocence, you know, in a time where people are judged by the way that they look and not necessarily what they've done. And so if I had to say any cons that I had for the film, and I think it's interesting, if you would have asked me last night what con that I would have had about Just Mercy, I would say that the beginning of the film gets off to a slow start. I thought that the pacing was a little off. After a while, things start to pick up. But as I kind of slept on it and thought about it this morning, I think that it really resembles, you know, what Walter McMillian had to go through, you know, from being convicted to even meeting Bryan Stevenson and trying to get, you know, his case thrown out, or, you know, to seek justice. I think that, you know, it was well played out how the pacing happened, because I think it shows how slow change has been. You know, it's happened with the work that Bryan Stevenson is doing, but there's so much work that needs to be done, and it's taking more time than what it needs to make sure that everyone can have equal justice. But outside of that, the only other kind of that I really had was some of the dialogue was a little cheesy, really centered around Michael B. Jordan's character, Bryan Stevenson. Some of the things that he says as he's having conversations with people, he kind of like invokes some like inspirational quotes and things like that. And to me, I was like, this is not how a conversation would normally flow, but it's nothing that will, you know, really deter my view and experience of Just Mercy. I had a great time watching this film. I think it's a film that definitely needed to be made. I think that a lot of people need to go watch this film to become informed, to, you know, really want to help impact this whole discussion towards reform. And I think that this movie will start those dialogues. It will continue the conversations going even after you leave the film. So what I would tell you guys to do with you and your coins for Just Mercy, pay to go see this film in theaters, okay? Take your friends, take your family. It does have some, you know, it has racial language, but it's not over the top as it is in other films. But I definitely think that this is something that everybody needs to be exposed to, you know, what is still happening in our country today. But those are my thoughts on Just Mercy. As always, my name is Sharana from Pay Your Weights, and if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. I'll see you soon.